Hello, listeners, patients, or Clear Minds employees. Dalton here. It's my absolute pleasure to bring you this episode, which would not be possible without our patrons. Michaela Jansen, I Have No Standards, Laura, Alexa Lynn, Kelly Harlan, Timothy O'Keefe, and Ira Ravid and Alex Peltier. Thanks to you, Chris has allowed me to eat this week. Also, because of your support, you may notice that our opening and closing theme has changed. We were able to afford the very talented Nico from the Inky Paw Print to do some original music. Check out their X, or maybe join the Patreon. Links in the description. That's not the only way you can help the show if money is tight. Tell others about us and give us a good rating. It really helps us out. Well, it was nice to get out of the basement for a while, but Chris is motioning me back to my cage. Remember, stay safe, stay sane. Dark Papers Entertainment presents The Patient Files, Season 2, Episode 2, Echoes.
Lucain Donahue, recording for personal records. The search for Olen may take much longer than I had thought. No internet searches turn up anything, which I'm not surprised. Doubt it would be that easy. I thought perhaps I would find something in the local paper or some such. Olen did have a penchant for leaving ads and whatnot in publications. Sadly, nothing. Short of asking strangers on the street, I think searching for him directly is a lost cause. I know I have to switch gears and get creative. A problem for another day. Recording end.
Once inside, I let my eyes linger and trace around the apartment. A small one-bedroom on the second floor of a house. Furnishings were sparse, a single worn sofa, a small dining room table, bare-bone kitchen appliances, laundry in the basement. However, for a downstairs neighbor who never seems to be home, and a landlord who takes cash with no questions asked, could anything else really be expected? On the table lies a pile of padlocks, all of different make and style. The floor actively fights my attempts at being graceful as I make my way to the bedroom door. It opens, and my body freezes. Before me, I see a gut-wrenching sight. The absolute horror causes my words to be caught in my throat. An abomination of a scene, the likes of which I had not seen since the city. Disgust takes a backseat to anger as I stare at the apocalyptic, inspiring thing in my bed.
Oh, hey! You're home!
Are you eating Cheetos? In my bed? And why is there an open jar of peanut butter resting on my pillow? Could you please not call this place home?
Okay, first of all, Lucian, this is only your bed when you're actually home. And second, the peanut butter was for the pretzels.
At least don't leave your clothes just lying around. Oh God, how long since you washed this? Nope, I'm not touching any of this mess.
You know, I could get a job. Maybe we could afford a place with 2 bedrooms.
Did you just call me poor?
I mean, if the 1-bedroom apartment fits.
Alright, listen, I have money. Just apparently my account doesn't exist at the moment.
So you're poor. Seriously though, I could help. I was looking online and there are a bunch of places hiring near us.
Alright, let's say you apply. You get an interview, get hired, then what? What are you going to do when they ask for a social security card? An ID?
Maybe. I could find an under-the-table job.
And they just advertise those on the internet now, do they?
Yeah, I found tons. Mostly scams though. How about I go out? Cut grass or something? I don't know.
And there it is. The real reason you want to get a job. It's not to help with bills.
It can be both! Come on! It sucks being inside every day. I could help you find Dad or the others, or at least go outside for a walk.
Absolutely not. Need I remind you that after the rift, it wasn't all sunshine strolls? We were immediately set upon by highly trained agents of some kind. It took me months to shake them off our trail, all while keeping you safe until you recovered.
I could take care of myself, Lucian.
Oh, can you? Did you get your spark mode back? What was that?
You know I didn't. Fine, whatever. I'll stay inside.
Have you eaten yet today?
Cheetos and pretzels. And peanut butter.
Of course. I'll cook dinner. I let silence linger as we ate. Eli was nearly finished. On one hand, if I push him too far and be too strict, I'll only harbor his need to rebel. On the other hand, I need him to stay put and do what I ask of him. Parenting is hard. I almost feel bad for brutally murdering dear Ma and Pop. How's the food?
Maybe next time we should order takeout.
Perhaps you're right. It is rather shit, isn't it?
Yeah.
And how's your homework coming along?
Good. I left it in the living room if you want to check it.
Later, I'm sure. And your training?
Did it this morning.
Good to hear. How about the...
Oh my god, yes! I did all of it! The English paper, the math, the push-ups, the sit-ups, planks, the entire workout routine. I even watched those dumb chess game videos.
Yet, I notice only half of the padlocks have been picked.
Yeah? Well, what about my laptop, huh? You said you would get it working.
Yes, well, that was when I thought you forgot your password and there was a faulty keyboard. Not when I discovered that your father encased every part in what I assume is spellwork by the incredibly complex patterns etched into every piece. I'm afraid to replace the mouse. Not to mention, it won't boot into safe mode, and the startup screen is just a picture of disjointed lines and circles, each of which can be dragged and dropped.
Like a picture puzzle.
Precisely. It's maddening.
Can I look at it?
I should have seen this coming. Eli has been feeling trapped, and even more dire than that. He has been complaining of late about feeling useless. I know I can't keep telling him no. I can't continue to shut him out of everything. If I maintain my current tight control over him, it won't end well. I need to switch gears. Switch gears.
Please? I promise I'll be careful.
All right. Fine.
Yes!
Don't make me regret this, little one. I haven't turned up to anything in the field, which
means that it may be our only lead to finding Dad. Yeah, I know.
All right, so as you know at first glance, this looks to be your old laptop. And for the most part, it is. It was only by luck that we discovered the spellwork.
Yeah, I remember. You replaced the battery, and when that didn't work, you threw the old one across the room.
Oh, don't be so dramatic. I may have been a tiny bit frustrated, but I hardly threw it. It simply fell.
All right, it fell across the room then.
Point is, it was only after the old battery shattered that we discovered the spellwork latticed into the inside of the component. Upon further, careful inspection, I found that nearly every part of it had similar markings just under the surface.
Are we even sure to work without the battery? The original one, I mean?
No clue. I know little of magic, so recreating it, much less understanding what that part played in the whole, is beyond me.
Okay, so we took stock of the current issues and reasonable assumptions. Now we move on to options. Yeah?
A small amount of pride swells in me. It would seem Eli did pay attention to my lectures about situational awareness and analysis after all. Correct. What would those options be, little one?
Well, trying to redo the magic doesn't seem like it would work. The laptop can turn on now, so the only option is the puzzle.
Go on then. Power it on.
Right. Is this how you left it?
No. It resets each time it's powered on.
So we have to not only solve it, but memorize how we did? Like, what if the end picture is just as important as how we got there?
That's a possibility, yes. Here. These are my notes so far. Every combination I've tried and the steps I took to get there.
This is surprisingly organized. Mr. Talbot would be proud.
Just make sure you take notes on what you're doing, alright?
Okay, wait, real quick. What about this part at the bottom of the screen? The prompt for a password?
Don't even think about touching that. Each time you enter a password, it counts down available attempts. We are on our last one. Each time the bloody thing gives a small message saying, "If you've forgotten your password, please complete the image above." Like that is somehow supposed to be easier. There's no telling what will happen when the countdown reaches 0.
Got it.
Good. You have fun with this. I'm going to grade your paper. At some point, clean your mess in the bedroom.
Uh-huh.
Before I knew it, midnight had already made its appearance, if my watch is to be believed. Eli's paper had long since been graded, a score of 86. Disappointing, yet still an improvement from his last one. I must have fallen asleep in the living room. It was dark, darker than I expected it to be. Cool blue light peeks into the living room from the kitchen. The faint sound of typing can be heard, a noise I ignore until my wits return to me. Typing. The picture puzzle is drag and drop. I should be hearing mouse clicks and sighs of aggravation mixed with pen on paper as Eli takes notes. My body moves nearly without command as I push myself off the sofa and swing into the kitchen. As soon as I am fully in the room, I notice Eli is gone. The laptop sits closed on the dining room table. The chair is scooted back and the lights are off. He must be in bed, or perhaps cleaning the room. Most likely the latter, judging from the dim glow under the bedroom door. A dim glow. I know I saw the blue light of the computer screen when I awoke. And the typing. There was typing. I am sure of it. Images of those insect creatures enter my mind briefly. I shake off the thought with a shiver. Instead, I make my way to the bedroom door. Little one? With no idea why, I hesitate. Normally, I don't even bother announcing myself, let alone asking permission to enter. It sets a bad precedent. Yet, now I find my hand raising to knock. My ears strain to hear behind the wooden barrier. Movement. By the sounds of it, cleaning. Drawers opening and closing, faint music, and the rustle of a garbage bag. I banish the odd sense of dread and enter the room. Eli? I find myself in darkness. The vestiges of life and chores being replaced by a clean bedroom, bathed in shadow. The light, the music, and most shocking, Eli, nowhere to be seen or heard. Panic and confusion sweeps over me. Eli! It is far too late to be playing games, little one. The bathroom and the last room in the safe house. He must be in there. Nothing aside from the steady dripping sound of a faucet that refuses to stay fixed. Damn it, Eli, I am in no mood for this. I retreat to the kitchen and flick the light on. I brace my eyes for the sudden flood of illumination. Instead, all I witness is the sound of a switch. I give it a few more attempts for good measure. A power outage? A small ping of hope returns to me as I ponder if Eli got his spark mode back. I rush to the window for confirmation. Was it just our place or the neighborhood? Aside from reflection, I don't see anything. Dread creeps back into me when I realize it's not just dark. I literally see nothing beyond the glass. The experience of the hospital returns to my mind in flashes. I swear if I'm in another damn dreamscape, I'm going to... I remind myself that that shouldn't be possible. The city is behind me. I've escaped. I am free. Have been for months now. Haven't I? Such a ridiculous thought. The city is cruel and filled with impossible things, but surely not that cruel, not that impossible. Yes, I have made it out. Something else is happening here. I simply have to find out what. Testing out a hunch, I make my way to the front door and open it. As I fear, I am met with a wall of void, identical to the hospital. Come on, Lucian. Think. Go over what you know. I am currently in the apartment. Eli is nowhere to be found. Perhaps by coincidence or by design, I have so far encountered two things that echo my time in the city. More specifically, my time with Charles and the others. Speaking of echoes, the bedroom is spotless, and I could have sworn I heard Eli cleaning moments before I entered. Theories. This dimension, or at the very least Michigan, seems to abide by a standard space and time structure, meaning this is not a normal experience, at least as far as I can tell. So, this tells me that an outside force or variable is causing this anomaly. Echoes. Typing. Prime theory is Eli typed a password. I doubt it was Olen's intention to trap his son in whatever this is, so Eli most likely entered a wrong password. This is 0 attempts remaining. I need more information. There is still something I'm missing. As I pace around the kitchen, my eyes fall onto the closed laptop. Perhaps there is something there. The blank screen hums to life. As many times before, I find myself met with a familiar sight, except the spot to enter a password is gone, now replaced by a simple message. One that in any other circumstance would be mundane, but staring at the words now, a knowing behind them, A judgment. You have 0 attempts remaining. Complete the picture. My eyes stare at the jumbled mess of lines and half-complete circles on the screen. My attention falls to the notepad, and of course no evidence that the pad has moved, despite hearing it clear as day. My mind recalled that sound and brought with it memories of the many sessions with Olen. Memories of him sitting across from me. His features were soft, but eyes sharp. His hands moved almost as if it were second nature as he scribbled notes. Memories of how things were. Of the past. Echoes. That word latches onto me as much as I latch onto it. It feels important. I ignore it for now. The lines don't move. The mouse responds to my commands, but the lines and shapes can no longer be dragged and dropped. I feel frustration whirl up inside me, and the desire to let it flow outward and snap the cursed thing into oblivion rises with it. I push it down, and stand. There is always a loophole, always a way out if you're clever enough. I begin to speak out loud as I pace the entire length of the small apartment, because sometimes you need to hear a good opinion. Let's stop thinking about the puzzle, shall we? Instead, perhaps we focus on the puzzle maker. His previous machinations are tailored. They contort time and space. He creates the ideal prison and he does... The sound emanates from the laptop. I make my way closer to it and once again look at the screen. The message has changed. You have -1 attempts remaining. Complete the picture. I feel it before I see it, like being punched in the gut, the sudden exodus of air leaving my lungs. The apartment changed. It is darker somehow. The shadows of the bedroom are thick, the interior features becoming swallowed. A mistake was made, that much is clear. But where? Perhaps trying to find a loophole? Of course, a puzzle designed by Olen would punish me for hubris. How frustrating. Alright, fine. No loopholes then. How about give us a clue? What is the point of all this? How do I win? Nothing? Of course not. Clearly there are rules. All puzzles have rules. Well, finding boundaries happens to be my forte. First, let's see what happens when we break the same rule twice. What was the exact wording? Albright. His previous machinations are tailored, they contort time and space, he creates the ideal prison, and he... I wait, keeping a close eye on my surroundings and expect the sensation of being punched in the gut. Nothing comes. Okay, punishments are only delivered once. Good to know. I reach for the notebook and flip to the last page. Eli did take notes. I'm surprised. They could use work, especially his grammar. And he didn't bother reading what I wrote, judging by the repeated symbols he attempted. My attention catches on his final entry. A list of words. Each word has numbers written next to them. A ranking system, perhaps? Only one is circled. Elijah Olen. Clearly a wrong guess. Oh, little one. Olen wouldn't use something so obvious and pedestrian. Perhaps I should next teach you how to let go of those daddy issues. Trust me, craving love and validation from anyone, much less your parents, can only be bad for you. What? How is that against the rules? You have -2 attempts remaining. Complete the picture. Before my very eyes, what little light remained in the living room vanished, replaced by a wall of shadow that stopped at the threshold. As before, when this happened, I felt like my breath was forced out of me. This is going to get very annoying. It isn't just the living room, however. The kitchen and bathroom, the only remaining spaces, seem to be darker. Alright, there has to be a pattern. You can't die here in this negative space. Focus. You are clever, capable, and look good in whatever you wear. Surely you can figure this out. I say these affirmations into my reflection off the screen. Movement. The lines and circles start to swim, moving across the monitor. I wait for a moment longer. I did something right, but what? I check my surroundings. Nothing has changed. No improvements or reversion of punishments. The only change was the message. You have -1 attempt remaining. Complete the picture. Is this just impossible? Are the rules arbitrary? Are they just key words that must be spoken aloud, or ones that must be avoided? This puzzle is a complete waste of my time. The bathroom vanishes as violently as the other room. leaving just the kitchen and the small space that serves as a dining area. You have -2 attempts remaining. Complete the picture. All right, you didn't like that. I reach for the notebook and pen. Quickly, I write down my wrong guesses as well as the one I got right so far. I study them for a few moments. I search for a pattern or some deeper meaning. Olen is a lot of things, but he always puts a focus on healing, on self-analysis. Was that it? My fingers trace over the words. He creates the ideal prison. Olen doesn't view the back halls as cells, but places for his patients to recover, places to improve, places to be protected or protect others. I move on to the next guess. Craving love and validation can only be bad for you. Olen always preached that wanting love, wanting acceptance, was a natural human instinct. Inherently not a bad one. Genuine connection to others is what separates people from truly becoming monsters. He is wrong, of course, but he believes it to be true. I look at the next passage, the one I got right. You are clever, capable, and look good in whatever you wear. Well, that is just a fact. Fact. Could it be so simple? The next entry. This puzzle is a complete waste of my time. Olen once told me that introspection was never a waste of time, that knowing oneself is paramount to forming true bonds with others. Hogwash, of course. Still, it is a pattern, one that fits. The feeling of being trapped and the walls closing in, echoes of my past trying to torment me. No, not quite. Not my whole past. My recent past. Does Olen or this puzzle think I regret what I did? That I missed Charles? H. Gray? If that's the game we're playing, then fine. I know the rules now. I know how to win. I speak aloud confidently. You want a therapy session? Sure, why not? Yes, I admit it. I regret deeply and truly what I did. I could have searched for another way to save Charles. I could have waited for Mr. Gray to return. Shutting them out was a mistake. I should have let them in. I should have told them who I was and what I was trying to do from the beginning. Shouldering this burden alone, it isn't healthy, and I want to do better. Be a better person, a good person. Oh, come on! You have -3 attempts remaining. Complete the picture. The kitchen is swallowed by void. Air leaves my lungs for longer this time. Only the table and chair float in complete darkness. The only source of light is that taunting computer screen. Cold bites at my skin. How did I get that wrong? That's what you wanted to hear, isn't it? That I'm all broken up about my decisions, and oh, how I wish I could take it all back. Well, you know what? Fuck that. You want the truth? You want the facts? I'm not sorry. I would do it again. I would kill 1,000 friends to achieve my goals and not even lose a wink of sleep. Do I have some regrets? Sure, but power is the only true currency and the only thing worth living and dying for. Friendships? Love? Connections? These are the true echoes. The remnants of the past destined to fade away. I will not fade. I will leave an impression that not even time can erase. I like who I chose to be. I am clever. I am charming. And most importantly, I am powerful. I am Lucain Donahue. The lines and circles on the screen begin to move. They intertwine into a complex pattern. I watch the message change. You have -3 attempts remaining. 2 attempts. 1. The message is replaced by the password bar as the image in the background weaves to completion. The password is filled out. It reads, Lucain Donahue. The picture is of my family sigil. I pause only briefly before hitting enter. The space fills with an almost blinding light. When it fades, I find myself sitting at the table, but the apartment is back. Daylight teems through the windows. The bathroom door opens and steam from a recently run shower pours out as Eli emerges.
Oh hey! You're home. Where did you go last night?
I was gone all night?
Yeah. Aw, man! You ruined the surprise. I solved the puzzle.
What do you mean you solved it?
Well, okay, I didn't really solve it, but I did get the password right. Turns out, it was just my name. The picture solved itself. It was just an image of me.
I barely register what Eli is telling me as my attention falls back to the laptop. A spinning circle is in the center of the screen. Beneath that is just the words. Waiting for others to connect.
Is it still on that screen? It's been like that since last night. I think it's frozen. Should you restart it, or... Wait, huh?
The spinning circle suddenly disappears and is replaced by what seems to be a Zoom call, or something that mimics Zoom. Eli and I freeze as we take in the details. Nearly filling up the entire screen is a man we both know very well. I stare into the sharp eyes of Olen. There is a brief moment of silence before he speaks.
Hello, can you hear me? Who cares about that? I knew you could solve it. Oh my God, I've been waiting so long. I have so much to tell you.
Showrunners for this episode were Christopher George and Dalton Lewis. This episode was written by Christopher George. Script editing was done by Dalton Lewis. Lucain Donahue was voiced by Dakota Hamlin. Eli was voiced by Dalton Lewis. And Dr. Gavin Olen was voiced by Peter O'Keefe. Original music by Nico from the Inky Paw Print.